लेट्स इमेजिन कि कुछ टेररिस्ट हैं जो कंट्री में आ गए हैं। अब इन टेररिस्ट की हेल्प जो लोग कर रहे हैं वो मीडिया के थ्रू कर रहे हैं। मीडिया के थ्रू वो उन्हें बता रहे हैं कि आप इतने आगे आ चुके हो, आपके इतने पास गार्ड्स हैं, उनका शूटिंग रेंज इतना है, सो दे आर हेल्पिंग थ्रू मीडिया। क्या ये भी अकम्प्लिस बन सकते हैं?
क्या आप मुझे फॉल्स एविडेंस एंड फैब्रिकेटिंग फॉल्स एविडेंस के बीच में डिफरेंस बता सकते हो?
सुकृति ये बताओ कि एक्सकल्पेटरी एविडेंस, एक्सकल्पेटरी कन्फेशन इज नॉट अ रियल कन्फेशन, राइट?
यस मैम।
किस केस में हेल्प हुआ था ये? नार्को टेस्ट कहाँ वैलिड होते हैं? इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट में नार्को टेस्ट की वैलिडिटी किस सेक्शन से डिराइव होती है? क्या फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन में राइट टू कन्वर्ट भी आता है?
नो मैम, फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन डज नॉट इंक्लूड द राइट टू कन्वर्ट।
तो क्या ऐसा कोई राइट है, राइट टू कन्वर्ट जैसा? SRA में रिसेंटली अमेंडमेंट्स हुए हैं, कुछ चेंजेस आए हैं।
यस मैम।
कुछ चेंजेस आप पॉइंट आउट कर सकते हैं?
व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय इनहेरिटेंस राइट ऑफ डॉटर्स? मैं कम मैम।
यस प्लीज।
गुड आफ्टरनून। गुड आफ्टरनून। थैंक यू।
सुकृति,
यस मैम।
कुछ बताइए अपने बारे में।
Ma'am, my name is Sukriti Jha. I currently live in Delhi. I have done my graduation from National Law University, Bhopal, and currently I'm pursuing my LLM from National Law University, Delhi.
ओके, सो आप LLM भी कर रहे हो, मतलब आपका एकेडमिक्स में भी इंटरेस्ट है?
No, ma'am. I don't have that much of an interest in academics. Doing LLM was always to supplement my knowledge when I eventually become a judge.
ओके, ठीक है। आपके घर पे कौन कौन है फैमिली में?
Ma'am, my parents and I have a younger sister.
पेरेंट्स क्या करते हैं आपके?
Ma'am, my father is an officer in the Indian Railways. Currently, he lives and works in Mumbai, and my mother is a school teacher, so she lives with me in Delhi.
सो रेलवेज का जो सब्जेक्ट है ये कौन सी लिस्ट में आता है 7th शेड्यूल की?
Ma'am, it's in the union list.
यूनियन लिस्ट में आता है?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या स्टेट को कोई पावर नहीं है रूल्स या रेगुलेशन फॉर्म करने के लिए विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रेलवे?
Ma'am, if it's in the union list, then of course the power can only be derived through some kind of delegation, ma'am.
ठीक है।
Sukriti, जैसे आपने बताया कि आप LLM कर रहे हैं. Yes, ma'am.
So what was the reason that you have chosen judiciary as your career option?
The professional reason is, ma'am, I love to always express myself through the written word. I like to creatively write, and I also love studying the law. So, ma'am, a profession that allows me to write and also applies my knowledge that I have gained in 5 years, ma'am, that is why I wanted to.
So according to that, you should have chosen legal journalism as your career option because वहाँ पर भी you can express yourself और जैसे आपने बताया कि you love writing. So I don't think मतलब judiciary will be a better option for you.
Indeed, ma'am. While opting for my career options, I did weigh a lot of different aspects, avenues of the law. But ma'am, I believe that if I become a judge, I can always write articles, legal articles. I can always express myself that way. But if I become a journalist, I will not be able to write judgments. And ma'am, whatever said and done, a judgment will always have a certain finality and authority to it, which makes it capable of making however small a difference in someone's life. So ma'am, that is why I chose.
Sukriti, you want to, you like creative writing.
Yeah.
Can you impart this creativity while writing judgments as well?
Ma'am, to a limited extent, yes, because I believe a judge has to be a little innovative as well while he is applying the law or finding a solution to a problem. But ma'am, to a very limited extent, I believe.
Okay. ठीक है। सुकृति, आपका फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट कौन सा है?
Ma'am, in general, I'm comfortable with all my subjects, but ma'am, since I'm doing my LLM in criminal law, so I have a deeper interest in criminal law.
ठीक है, ठीक है. सो ये बताइए कि एक हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन लेते हैं. सो लेट्स इमेजिन कि कुछ टेररिस्ट हैं जो कंट्री में आ गए हैं. अब इन टेररिस्ट की हेल्प जो लोग कर रहे हैं वो मीडिया के थ्रू कर रहे हैं. मीडिया के थ्रू वो उन्हें बता रहे हैं कि आप इतने आगे आ चुके हो, आपके इतने पास गार्ड्स हैं, उनका शूटिंग रेंज इतना है. सो दे आर हेल्पिंग थ्रू मीडिया, राइट, थ्रू न्यूज़ चैनल्स. क्या ये भी क्या ये भी अकम्प्लिस बन सकते हैं?
Ma'am, an accomplice is any person who participates in the commission of a crime. So, ma'am, if a crime is committed in this eventuality, then yes, ma'am, they can be called accomplices.
क्या 34 लगा के, सेक्शन 34 आईपीसी लगा के, क्या इनके ऊपर भी सेम चार्जेस लगाए जा सकते हैं?
Ma'am, since section 34 is to do with common intention, so ma'am, proving intention in such a case would be difficult, I believe. So ma'am, probably not, it cannot be read with section 34, ma'am.
ठीक है.
सुकृति, मुझे एक बात बताइए. मान लीजिए कोई एक्यूज कोर्ट के सामने है, ठीक है, एंड उसने जनरल डिफेंस प्लीड नहीं किया है.
Yes, ma'am.
मान लो वो मर्डर केस के लिए उसका ट्रायल चल रहा है एंड ही हैज़ नॉट प्लीडेड जनरल डिफेंस, बट उस पर्टिकुलर केस में मतलब ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी है जहाँ पर वो जनरल डिफेंस प्लीड कर सकता है, मतलब प्राइवेट डिफेंस प्लीड कर सकता है. ठीक है. तो इन दैट केस क्या अगर वो ये भूल जाता है या वो इसको नहीं लेकर आता है कोर्ट के सामने, तो क्या खुद से कोर्ट इस चीज़ को उसे बता सकता है? क्या उसे गाइड कर सकता है कि वो अपना प्राइवेट डिफेंस प्लीड करे? और दैट इज केस फॉल्स अंडर जनरल एक्सेप्शंस.
Ma'am, I believe when we look at it in the context of rights of fair trial to an accused, and also in the social context as to how people are really not aware about the law, ma'am, I believe the court can guide the pleader of the accused or the accused himself.
Can you recall any case? Because there is a landmark judgment over this.
Ma'am, sorry, I am not aware of the judgment.
क्या आप मुझे फॉल्स एविडेंस एंड फैब्रिकेटिंग फॉल्स एविडेंस के बीच में डिफरेंस बता सकते हो?
Ma'am, I'll just try. Ma'am, fabricating false evidence is creating a certain circumstance or an entry or a false document in order to ultimately present it in a court of law, which actually influences the decision making of the person who is dealing with that case. So ma'am, that is the object behind it. But ma'am, false evidence would be creating false evidence could be, you could create it in a court of law or even outside it. That is, ma'am, I believe that is the difference.
And what are the sections provided in the IPC?
Ma'am, sections 191 and 192 and 193 has the punishment, ma'am.
Okay. सुकृति, ये बताओ कि एक्सकल्पेटरी एविडेंस, एक्सकल्पेटरी कन्फेशन इज नॉट अ रियल कन्फेशन, राइट?
यस मैम.
किस केस में हेल्ड हुआ था ये?
मैम, पलविंदर कौर वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ पंजाब.
सो क्या ये स्टेटमेंट कहीं भी और भी यूज़ किया जा सकता है एज एविडेंस? क्या इसकी एविडेंशियरी वैल्यू किसी और सेक्शन के अंडर फॉल कर सकती है? इफ इट इज नॉट अ कन्फेशन, कैन दिस स्टेटमेंट स्टिल बी यूज्ड एज एन एविडेंस?
Ma'am, as per section 32 or 157, ma'am, if the person is not available for giving evidence and out of necessity, if that statement has to be used, then ma'am.
What about admission? Can this statement be used as an admission?
Yes, ma'am.
Which section is that?
Ma'am, I don't know. Sorry, ma'am.
नार्को टेस्ट कहाँ वैलिड होते हैं? इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट में नार्को टेस्ट की वैलिडिटी किस सेक्शन से डिराइव होती है?
Ma'am, I don't know. Sorry, ma'am.
ठीक है.
What are the suits of civil nature?
Ma'am, suits of a civil nature are those that deal primarily with a question of civil law, and it may ancillary deal with a political or a religious question, but the primary question is that of civil nature, ma'am. And civil nature would imply that there is a certain relationship between individuals, for instance, a contract or anything related to property, etc.
What do you understand by unconscionable contracts?
Ma'am, unconscionable contracts are those that are so arbitrary, they're so manifestly arbitrary that uh, they cannot be considered legal. Um,
So you're trying to say that they are always voidable, legal, illegal. What are they?
Ma'am, they may be legally enforceable also at times, ma'am, because sometimes a very high rate of interest may be charged, and that also technically is a legal thing to do, ma'am. Also, ma'am, with respect to the voidability of it, then we'll have to check as to coercion or fraud, etc. So, ma'am, that would be a different avenue. But
What do you understand by legal and illegal contract? Are
Uh,
they even contracts?
Ma'am, a legal contract and agreement which is legally enforceable is a contract, ma'am. So that would amount to a contract. But ma'am, illegal contracts are those that are forbidden by any particular law.
So what are lawful and unlawful?
Um, Ma'am, sorry, I don't know.
ठीक है, सुकृति ये बताइए कि क्या फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन में राइट टू कन्वर्ट भी आता है?
No, ma'am. Freedom of religion does not include the right to convert.
तो क्या ऐसा कोई राइट है, राइट टू कन्वर्ट जैसा?
No, ma'am. This was held in the case of Rev. Stanislaus versus State of Madhya Pradesh, that freedom of religion includes the right to practice and propagate, but not to convert.
ओके, ठीक है। सुकृति ये बताइए कि अगर किसी पर्सन ने अपना लोकेशन अब सोशल मीडिया पे अपडेट किया है, क्या वो इस अपडेटेड लोकेशन के बेसिस पे प्ली ऑफ एलिबाई ले सकता है? क्या इसे एज एन एविडेंस दिया जा सकता है फॉर प्ली ऑफ एलिबाई?
Ma'am, it would fall into the category of electronic evidence, which is admissible in a court of law. But ma'am, as the recent case says that it has to be supported with a certificate, and it has to be in a primary form, in the sense that the original device through which he updated his location has to be submitted. So ma'am, in Arjun Pandit Rao Khotkar, ma'am, this it was held.
ठीक है। सुकृति ये बताइए, ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट पढ़ा होगा आपने?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या अनलिक्विडेटेड डेट्स भी ट्रांसफर करी जा सकती है?
No, ma'am.
अनलिक्विडेटेड डेट हो सकती है?
No, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
ठीक है, ठीक है। एक्शनेबल क्लेम क्या होता है?
Ma'am, actionable claim is also considered a kind of property because it can be transferred as per the Transfer of Property Act. So, ma'am, it is any debt or any beneficial interest in a movable property which is not in possession of the claimant. And such an interest can be existent, or it can be accruing, or conditional, or contingent.
Okay. What is the difference between actionable claim and mortgage?
Ma'am, a mortgage is necessarily for an immovable property. When it is an immovable property is held as a security for repayment of a debt or performance of a promise. But ma'am, an actionable claim could be a debt itself.
What is the key difference?
Ma'am, I'm not able to recall right now.
Actionable claim में security रखते हैं?
No, ma'am.
ठीक है, ठीक है। ये बताइए कि SRA में रिसेंटली अमेंडमेंट्स हुए हैं, कुछ चेंजेस आए हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
कुछ चेंजेस आप पॉइंट आउट कर सकते हो?
Yes, ma'am. The first major change is that Earlier, the power to grant specific performance was a discretionary power, but now it has been made mandatory. And ma'am, section 10 is the main section which grants the power to the court. Secondly, ma'am, there are infrastructural projects, and a schedule has been added which defines such projects, and it is said that an injunction cannot be granted to impede the progress of an infrastructure project.
ठीक है.
What is accumulation का जो डॉक्ट्रिन है वो क्या होता है?
Ma'am, doctrine of accumulation is given in section 17. Ma'am, it is to do with the accumulation of the income out of a property, and for how long can this income be not be transferred.
कहाँ दिया हुआ है ये प्रोविजन?
Ma'am, section 17, ma'am.
Yes. और कोई रिलेटेड प्रोविजन इसमें है?
Ma'am, since section 15, 16, 17, 18, and 14 also, ma'am, they're all read together. So, ma'am.
अच्छा. Section 156 clause 3 का जो order है, can it be given after the trial has commenced, and under what circumstances?
Ma'am, since section 156(3) deals with and chapter 12 of the CRPC also deals with investigation, ma'am, I don't believe it can be given after the trial has commenced. After that, ma'am, there is section 202 of the CRPC where an order for investigation can be given, ma'am.
Any other section under which it can be given?
Ma'am, right now I cannot recall, ma'am.
ठीक है. What do you understand by preponderance of probability?
Ma'am, I have a limited knowledge of it, ma'am, but it is a standard of proof that is used in civil cases, ma'am. So it is not a very high standard of proof, and it means that as long as the party can establish, the side can establish that there is a preponderance of probability in their favor, they are eligible, they may get the relief, ma'am.
Can this principle be used under section 138? 138?
Ma'am, 138
of NIA.
Of NIA. Yes, ma'am, I believe it can be used.
Because you just said that it is a principle of civil law.
Ma'am, actually, sorry, ma'am, what I meant is that in criminal law, ma'am, because the principle of beyond reasonable doubt is only on the prosecution, the burden of proof of proving beyond reasonable doubt. But ma'am, the accused does not have to prove anything beyond reasonable doubt. So he can use a person accused under 138A can use preponderance of probability, ma'am.
ठीक है. What do you understand by
NIA का जो 138 है,
Yes.
ये किस तरह का सेक्शन है? क्या ये सिविल के लिए है या फिर ये क्रिमिनल में फॉल करता है?
Ma'am, it has been made into a criminal offense, ma'am, and there is a punishment and a fine prescribed under it because, ma'am, because of the necessity.
क्या पहले NIA was a civil law?
Yes, ma'am, it falls within because it deals with transactions between individuals. So, ma'am, the domain is civil law, but, ma'am, due to necessity, they have made it.
When was this change made?
Ma'am, I believe 1988, by the amendment of 1988, ma'am.
Are you sure about this?
Yes, ma'am, chapter 17 was introduced into the Negotiable Instruments Act in 1988, ma'am.
अच्छा, एक चीज़ ये बताइए, examination of parties, let's say, examination of accused and witnesses. Under section 202, is it a mandate, and what are exceptions to it?
Ma'am, as far as I know, as far as I've read it in the context of the Negotiable Instruments Act also, ma'am, it is a mandate. The magistrate has to examine the parties. Even though, ma'am, sometimes it is said that the parties can submit an affidavit or the accused can submit an affidavit. But, ma'am, the courts have time and again reiterated that.
But NIA is a special law.
Yes, ma'am.
So what will prevail?
Ma'am, a special law will prevail, ma'am. But ma'am, courts have interpreted the section since we are a common law system, ma'am. So our precedents also have a very binding value. So, ma'am, since courts have interpreted that, even though the act says something, ma'am, we will read it with 202 of CRPC and mandate examination.
Can you recall any case?
Ma'am, there was a recent case, ma'am. It was a referential case, ma'am. I cannot recall the whole name, ma'am. But yes, ma'am. It was a recent 2021 or 22 case.
What do you understand by inheritance right of daughters?
Ma'am, the inheritance right of daughters now in Hindu law is equal to that of sons. Earlier, a female could never be a Mitakshara co-parsonary, but ma'am, after the 2005 amendment, they were made Mitakshara co-parsonaries, and after the 2020 judgment, ma'am, I believe Vinita. No, I'm sorry, I can't recall the whole name, but there the Supreme Court said that all daughters also have equal inheritance rights as sons.
So ऐसे daughters जिनका राइट पहले अगर हुआ बिफोर द अमेंडमेंट वाज मेड, क्या उनका ऐसा कोई राइट बनता है प्रॉपर्टी में अगर उनके फादर की डेथ हुई है इंटरस्टेट?
Yes, ma'am, they have a right, because that's what the Supreme Court clarified, that even daughters prior to the amendment, whose father passed away prior to the amendment, also have a right of inheritance, equal right of inheritance.
फिर तो ये जो अमेंडमेंट है ये रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव हो गया। क्या ऐसा कोई अमेंडमेंट रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव हो सकता है जो आपके राइट्स को अफेक्ट करे?
मैम सॉरी, आई डोंट नो।
ठीक है सुकृति,
थैंक यू मैम।